Hey guys, what's going on this upcoming week? We're trading today on Sunday, well, for the crypto market at least, Sunday the 2nd of February 2025. Donald Trump, well, he started taking over office with somehow some things which were expected from him, signing deals and tariffs, upcoming tariffs, Mexico and Canada, 25%. They are going to cause some implementation in market motivation because Canada and Mexico are among the big countries the US are dealing with currently. What else goes in markets this upcoming week? We have an interest rate decision from the Bank of England, and let's start how that one might cause a market motivation to be important here. Expected that 25 basis points rates are being reduced again, and that could obviously cause some impact in this market. Official bank rate down 4.7 to 4.5%. If we are looking at this potential market momentum, yeah, the pound had started to approach the strong resistance area. That's the 50 moving average, as well as this trend line, which was kind of drawn here. It's slightly higher. We should actually pull this somehow lower, but let's stay with the 50 moving average in gray color here. We can see that this 50 moving average, if we extrapolate it, would call for further weakness in this market. This slight blue supportive trend might be of support for now. However, in this falling trend, be quite important for this market to weaken somehow further. So we should expect that downside momentum is going to cause further weakness, and if the market can trade towards and below the 122 psychological support zone, further weakening price momentum and could be the outcome, with the market potentially causing further weakness here. The downside might be expected. However, if we are looking at it from this perspective, the market's trend, and that's why the trend line lays like this here, the market's trend from long-term charts had broken the resistance, this upside area, right? So that zone here, which is and was quite important, had been broken so far. The question now remains on the monthly chart, because the monthly chart in the month of January had closed quite bad, had gone to the downside towards mid of the month, but started to appreciate. So what we might say is upside potential could be on the cards as well, and the upside might just start as early as the 123.50 zone. If this zone is being tested, the upside momentum might occur, and rising prices, it could be the outcome. So in this case, a further potential positivity here, further motivation in the pound being the importance here. And this importance in the pound itself here might be obviously of quite some significant motivation here. So the pound itself could also start to appreciate further. However, let's see how the market goes early next week. We might see a further slight potential of weakening price momentum. The market might just wobble around sideways, slightly lower, and then only start to appreciate, where we could see that the further upside might be seen. So if the first candlestick here in the month of February might just start, say, to depreciate, maybe a little bit of a body here and some wick to the downside here, then maybe March or still an appreciation in February could be seen. But again, those traders trading this off the monthly chart should focus with buying opportunities of this long-term chart only above the 125 area, or else those ones looking into buying opportunities here, following up with the weekly chart, might give us further information in this market as well. Looking ahead and moving the US dollar might also be the non-farm payrolls, and that's the utmost preview on Friday. NFP data expected rather on the lower end, 154,000 newly created jobs here. not as much. However, the fires in California, will they add more jobs to the market? Obviously more in the defense sector, ambulance, hospitals, and what not is needed to start rebuilding everything once the fires kind of really are basically over and the situation can get back in full control. That's the one situation, plus the suffering and expenses in this case might still drive the entire economy as well in the US, at least of some sort. Whether this is of impact right now might be in question. However, the figures, if they are remaining or if they're coming in slightly stronger, there we go, we would have an opportunity to see the dollar's strength potentially starting again next week again. And this strength next week could be could impact the pound to weaken, the dollar to strengthen, and whatnot. So pound US dollar weakness might be on the cards, among also other trading opportunities here. Looking at the euro, we got the same story. Yeah, so the euro is again basically back rolling to lower price levels. Looking at it here, and you can see the candle has just formed, since I haven't opened the charts on Friday before they closed here. On the monthly candlestick pattern, we see that Friday's trading was quite bearish as well here, and now this leads or led towards further price momentum. So the US dollar might get hands-on into appreciative pattern again. Euro dollar might weaken. The pound we examined as well. And now this candlestick pattern with this doji could just give us further input here for the market momentum to weaken. And furthermore, the Aussie basically is doing the same story, giving us the same opportunity here. All across the board, it looks like the greenback, the dollar, the American dollar is going to appreciate further. And again, a supportive zone here, 161.50. If this area basically below the 62 zone can be broken, the market's weakness here might be kind of important and offer some downside motivation here in this case, where the downside momentum with the Australian dollar could potentially help this market momentum causing further negative price sentiment here in the Australian dollar. Downside momentum again, the Aussie kind of quite interesting as well. And now we're looking into the equity side of things. Well, stock markets, the S&P 500 had really not done anything positive again so far, and boop, when the candle loads again, we see that the month of January ended in a way in bullish territory. That's for sure. And upside momentum could still be seen should the market just continue to trade above this 6,050, 6,040 resistance zone, right? And the weekly chart, well, not overly bearish. I might say that the continuation pattern based on daily and weekly charts above the high point here might give a further start for this rocket pushing to the upside. That's the importance we can observe here. It is market environment. Though looking at the NASDAQ, well, we had the tech story obviously this week. DeepSeek, the startup, the AI startup from China. Oh, China, right? They can do stuff as well. Then we might see that the hemisphere might kind of cause the market motivation to change direction. DeepSeek is in everybody's mouth at the moment. Nvidia losing some steam. Magnificent 7 as well as the general tech equity side of things from the US might found a small but interesting alternative. And the question is on how much will that impact market motivation. Well, I talked about it earlier on, and this turnaround candlestick pattern here in the NASDAQ remains in place. This month, last month, January, as we wish, had kind of not been able to break the high point. So in this case, now weakness could be across the board. It could be seen across the board. The S&P somewhat positive. The NASDAQ, however, remains lower. And there, I might say, NASDAQ could be poised for a bearish price pressure just below the 20,800 zone. If we break that area, falling prices might continue. Dow Jones, same story, by the way, and we can start with the 4-hour chart here. That's exactly what happens. Support, and then now this support had been broken. Daily chart, support in a way broken. Weekly chart, when it's loading, yep, we didn't close above the high point, which it looked like early on. That's the 45,000 psychological figure. And guys, most of those index markets, right, indices, they remain capped below those areas. And now if we're looking at it from this perspective on the monthly chart, well, the Dow Jones again looks positive. positive. It could kind of appreciate, but we need the break here of the high point. If the 45,000 level can be broken above and beyond, yes, I would be an advocate for buying opportunities and would be interested to buy the market here. If the market doesn't, and the DAX shows something similar, we could see that there's something similar is currently brewing here in this market. So this environment support, and the market falling right now is kind of quite interesting here, with further negative market sentiment and price pressure being seen. So with that, the German DAX could be also kind of quite poised for further market weakness, as the sentiment currently shows. Weekly charts, daily charts still quite bullish. However, if we're looking at it from this candlestick pattern here based on the long term, the monthly chart, this is like something quite, it's a starting from your side, it's a starting rocket parabolic uptrend. How parabolic uptrends have ended in the past, you guys can research as well. Just check parabolic uptrend and check maybe, for example, tulip bubble, whatever. It's not a bubble, but the markets have just been across the board, moved across the board to the upside. Well, sentiment had changed in a way from the Eurozone or Germany in general to be slightly positive if we are looking at the economic sentiment in general. So that could be an advocate for market participants to continue to buy. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't like to short this market as it moves to the upside. Not at all. But I would be careful in terms of profit taking, and would just state that, hey, there could be some room here in this market, which would be where we would be better off to observe the situation, secure our profits, and prepare for a potential correction, as it seems to be potentially around the corner. Speaking about the crypto space, the same story as well. Trump's tariffs, that's some of the headlines at least, might also call for some influence in the crypto space. Why? Obviously, the risk sentiment is changing. Equities, as we just announced, might remain a bit shaky. Bitcoin, well, kind of slightly lowering here, double top of this candlestick pattern. We've briefly crossed the high point, the all-time high, which was created at about, where is it, 110,000, 109,000 something. But the market is just about to correct slightly further. Ether doing the same story. Also, Ether is just about to break slightly lower again. So that looks like a bit shaky, so slightly dangerous. Currently capped below and at the 50 moving average. XRP doing the same. However, we've seen the rocket starting XRP higher, the flagpole or the flag here market lowering higher, the market weakening again. So with that, obviously, we observe currently that a downside momentum in this XRP market might continue. However, long term, we see the market is about to weaken somehow, but it could mean only that this is just a tiny bit of a correction before the upside potential is going to be is going to continue. Looking at Solana, well, this was the hope, I might say here. The market about to break higher above the $260 level. At the moment, it looks like a bit shaky. Anything above 255, 260 US dollars, I was just about to say per ounce, per token, I would like to be in with upside momentum, with a buying opportunity to be grabbed by myself. However, Solana, with this current market environment, looks rather shaky and ready to weaken further. So that's the market opportunity I would see here, with further downside momentum potentially to kind of maybe continue. That's in for Solana so far. And apart from that, we have precious metals, gold weakening slightly. This was already a double top here. We've seen the market crossed it. We might be ready to correct slightly before the uptrend will continue. Let me draw this trend line, because that's an important one. Maybe the market just does like this to stop at this area. Before then, the upside potential is going to continue. And then silver doing something similar. Whoa, now the candlestick and the charting patterns don't make a whole heck of sense, but we might see the same story here, that also silver could be kind of in a bearish setting at the moment. The upside here for now is at the moment just maybe happening, but again, above the high point here, we might see that upside potential 3150 might be due to continue. In general, it looks kind of pretty good so far, I might say. However, strong push higher. We've seen the markets bouncing back and forth in silver quite a lot. So upside, yeah, the trend looks good. initial correction to the downside might be seen as well in this market, as obviously kind of the corrective pattern might still be due to continue. Guys, what else do we have? We have some important figures in regards to the oil market. Well, the oil market had been so far quite interesting. Oil corrected pretty much, right? The Americans, especially Trump, back to old energy supply, in particular oil and gas, flooding markets. That's at least the idea. This could be of impact for the oil price. However, currently, if we are looking at the oil chart, now we are checking out the daily chart, the market had started to appreciate off this support area, and that comes from the 50 moving average. On the weekly chart, the market is about to strengthen again around this 50 moving average, so that marks an important zone in this case, where else obviously also the monthly chart kind of with this pin bar candlestick pattern, and here the falling trend being kind of quite interesting here. So downside, yeah, potentially due to continue of the long-term chart here. Weekly chart and shorter term might still indicate that the upside is obviously due to continue. Guys, that's our outlook so far. I hope we didn't forget anything so far here this week. If we did, leave your comments below our video. Don't forget to subscribe us, and to talk to you next week. See you then, guys. Ciao.